Here we are. It's Radio Daybreak, the B&I Business of the Week, Innovators of Daybreak. What other titles we want to throw in there?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I mean, I guess...
That's it.
On the spot. That's it.
But look, today...
Season 2, right? Season 2.
Here we go.
Radio Daybreak. Here we are. We wanted to be more of a face and a voice of the community and Innovators of Daybreak. The who's who, who's doing what.
And we got the
cool
who's
things
who.
going on.
We got the who's who. We got the who's who. We got...
That is why I'm here.
We got Easton Rentmeister. I like to say it like I like to give it an introduction like a wrestling name. With the last name of Rentmeister, you've got to be like the property management person, like a rental.
I get that all the time. People ask me all the time, you have to be a property management type of business. I missed my calling apparently.
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean, you're kind of in property, right? With what you do, ish.
A little bit.
Business, I guess.
Taking care of properties one way or another, but
There
I
you
think
go.
buying an apartment complex or the Rentmeister Inn or something,
Yeah.
it should have been my calling.
Maybe he can lend his name to the seat that has that in the B&I chapter. Maybe you could trade names.
Yeah.
We need somebody with what last name to fit your business in here?
Whoa, a last name to fit for insurance. I don't know. I feel like more of like a tagline name, like the Protector or like a superhero name or something.
There you go. Now you're talking. Like,
Well, you brought wrestling up, so I was like, you gotta have something.
oh man, that's something you'll know about me. I'm a huge wrestling fan.
You know his family name, Rentmeister. You know they're a big company here in Utah, right? Did you know that?
I did know this.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, you do have roots to that.
There is the Rentmeister name. We're all related. I mean, within Utah, I feel like most all of us are
Yeah.
related anyway.
Yeah.
We're all the pioneers and the,
Yes.
the polygamous ancestry. Okay, maybe not.
Not me. I'm out of that movement. Hold on now.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Your accent,
Yeah.
your
Don't
accent
get me in.
gives it away, Blaine.
I'm with the inbreds back in Tennessee now. No, wait a minute. We're gonna
Not
get hate
the
mail.
Utah ones.
Yeah.
But tell us about the name and your family, because they are people know that name here.
So the Rentmeister name that you guys are familiar with, it's my grandparents, it's their brothers and sisters up north a little bit. But I have a gigantic family here within Utah. So Rentmeisters, we're all from here locally in Riverton. My grandparents actually last week just celebrated their 70th wedding anniversary.
What?
70 years. It was crazy
That's
to see
awesome.
that people married that long. They're going to both be 90 this year.
I mean, I can't believe people live that long, like, much less are married to the same person.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy when I hear those kinds of stories. We met some people like that at one of the markets or something. But those stories are
They're
incredible to me.
So charming.
Your
So
mom was in this business too, right?
Yeah, so my mom, Donna, has owned an insurance agency for going on 22 years now. So I tell people that I've been working in insurance now for about 8 years, but that's voluntarily. Because back in the day,
5.
insurance policies back in the day were on pieces of paper. So literally people would come in and you'd write down their coverage and we'd file them. So from a kid, I was always her filing cabinet for her. Her whole office was like
So it's in the blood.
Yeah.
So even with that last name, it's still.
Generationally. He's for sure second generation into this, it sounds like.
Yes.
So.
Yep, and it's kind of growing more into a family business in one way, shape, or form. My mom does it. Her brother now does it. My brother's getting involved into insurance now.
Do you have your daughter being your filer now?
She is. If I ever have problem clients on the phone or anything like that, I put her on the phone and just immediately de-escalates the situation.
Oh, I bet.
So, like you. He's like, here, you can talk to Blaine.
You know I don't flop the handle more than twice a day.
More than twice
At least
a day.
twice a day. That's all. No more. No
No,
less.
she's my little sidekick. She's with me everywhere. I've taken her to client meetings every once in a while. She's the face for me.
She's darling. I've had the opportunity and pleasure of meeting her, and she is so smart. I'm sure she'll be third generation, easily take this over. And
we'll see.
Yeah.
She changes about every other day what she wants to do. So we'll
Nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that
no,
either.
she's involved in a lot of things too. She's already doing a lot of things, and just her whole mindset. How old is she?
She's 8 now.
Oh my word.
8 going on 16. I feel.
Truly.
It's an age where they're trying to find her identity, and her personality changes on a day-to-day basis of what she's feeling in the day. So some days are exciting and some days are I hide.
I know your daughter is a big part of your why, with why you do what you do and the story behind that. But tell us more about, first off, your actual business name. what you're doing, how you got started, and kind of the why behind it all.
Yeah, so I work for a company called Grit Insurance. We do commercial business insurance, anything from liability insurance to properties, your autos, and your workers' compensation, protecting your employees while they're out on business sites and job sites. The biggest things with businesses is, people say all the time, well, I'm fine, I'm careful. I don't do anything wrong. Nothing's going to happen to me. And for businesses, it's really not a matter of if something's ever going to happen, but really a matter of when.
Yep.
And you invest so much time and energy. People always say that while you have a job, you work and get paid, and you're good to go. You clock out. And once you own a business, you put in twice as many hours for half as much pay.
Yep.
And it runs your entire life, as you guys know.
100%, yeah.
So when something does end up happening inevitably for somebody's business, on our side of it, we've unfortunately had the displeasure of seeing that accidents can take down an entire company, an entire life's work before your eyes. So for us, we really like to go in and find out people's why of their business and what really is most important to them, and making sure that we protect that.
I mean, companies don't have that little countdown on the side of the wall, days since last accident.
Last accident.
They don't have that because it's not going to get used. Literally,
Right.
there's not a it's not a if, it's when, like you said. So you had insurance in your blood, basically.
Yep.
You left, you went and did the military. Is that right?
I was in the military for just about 6 years, and I did the United States Air Force active duty, and it was fun. When I graduated high school, I was not the person that college was my screaming desire. So
not for everybody.
I really didn't have an idea of what I wanted to do, and as soon as I graduated high school, I started looking at pilot lessons. I really wanted to fly. Since I was a kid, I really wanted to fly airplanes.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Like, it's deep down somewhere. Like we all want to. Like we want to be able to lift off the ground.
Do we?
I'd love it. What? You don't want to?
Some more than others.
I love to stay
I mean,
lifted. You take that how you want.
I was a flight attendant, so I don't know. Maybe that's
okay.
Maybe
You
that's
You get a little
somewhere.
bit different side.
Yeah.
Right? Do I need to fly the plane or just get the drinks in the back? I don't know.
So you went and did the Air Force.
Yeah,
Where
so
were you
tell us a
stationed
little
at?
more about that.
So I graduated high school and I wanted to fly, and I so happened to meet a recruiter, and he was great. But sometimes they'll tell you anything and everything that you want to hear.
Yeah.
And I told him I wanted to fly, and he said, "All right, join the Air Force. Go in as this, and you'll be flying in no time." Well, 6 years later, I'd never
Got.
Never did. Instead, I was a mechanicon. I did body work on airplanes and
I had a buddy.
aircraft.
Same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Same thing. He didn't want, and he wanted to fly. Did the same thing. I went to high school with him. Old Toddy Locks. If you're watching out there, Old Toddy Locks, that's his name now. He's a stand-up comedian now. He's retired from the Air Force.
Oh, I'm sure he has
So
a
I'll tell you-
lot to say about
Oh, he's got a lot to say about it. But yeah, man, same boat.
It was fun. I got to travel a lot. I got to see a lot of the world. I did my basic training in San Antonio in August. And if you've ever been to Texas in August, it is
I'm sorry.
literally hell.
I'm from Tennessee, and it's not far off with the humidity and all that. Oh, my gosh.
my gosh.
It was fun, and it was a culture shock. Living in Utah and growing up here, it's a very sheltered community here. We don't have high crime. We don't have a lot of bad areas, and so you go down there and you meet people from all over the country. You're living with 60 people in barracks.
Oh,
yeah.
You get real comfortable real fast.
Yeah.
with
Oh,
everybody
I'm
there.
sure.
It was a great experience though. Doing basic training, I did my technical school in Pensacola Beach, Florida. So I went from hot to beach hot.
Yeah. Look,
Got to live right on the coast. We were on
Beautiful. I love Pensacola.
We were on a Navy base, and my front door of the dorm rooms was the beach.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right there. And it was amazing. I did 6 months almost down there. And moved from there. I got my first duty station in Spokane, Washington.
nice.
Oh, wow.
Right on
the coast.
Yeah.
Man, you were all over, weren't you?
Yeah,
Coast,
so
coast.
we were on the very east side of Washington, so right on the border of Idaho. And I don't know if you've ever heard of like Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Yeah.
Big, we're about 45 minutes from there.
Oh,
So
nice. So
it
you're
was-
like by a nice luxury place
Yeah.
too.
And it was
Down
great.
Pine. You ever been to Charlie?
I
All right. Well,
Maybe.
I guess the next show.
I might have rolled through.
Taking a road trip.
We're gonna do a live show up there.
Road trip.
If they got internet over there, you think? Is it
They'll be fine. You'll
There
be
is
fine.
internet.
Okay.
It
I
does
got
work. Cell
Yep.
service, hit and miss.
The hit and
but-
miss, yeah.
But internet.
This
Oh,
time of
man.
year, super cold. FYI.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm already layered up on the couch inside, so
Oh, I know. I know.
I'm not gonna be able to handle
It's
that.
chilly outside right now.
So you left You get out of the Air Force?
Yeah, got out of the Air Force and came home. And what they don't tell you when you're in the military is when you get out, you get about a 5-day crash course on what life is actually like outside of the military, on how to fill out your resume, and then give you a plane ticket and say, we'll see you a little bit later. So I got back home, and I, again, had no idea, but I went back to school, started college at the University of Utah, and started doing finance and started doing accounting. And I love numbers. I love math, and numbers make sense to me. It's something that I really do enjoy because I spent so much time in the military really calculating all that. A lot of math and fixing aircraft. And so I did that for a little bit, and I asked my mom how she liked doing insurance. And she said, it's really hard. It's a grind, but she loved it. And getting to see that side of it. So I started taking my courses to get my license, and then I got my license, and I asked her for a job, and I said, hey, I'd love to come and work for you. No.
Of course.
She said no right off the bat, and
Where's my child? She needs to be hearing this interview right now.
I was taken back. I was like, I put in the work, I got my license. She said, I think you need to go get some experience elsewhere. And I think that it'd be good for you to learn somewhere else. So
good for her.
Yeah. At the time, I was taken back. I was upset. I was like, I'm your baby, though.
I am entitled to this? Where's my child? She needs to hear this.
Deep down, that was hard for her somewhere.
I'm sure.
Yes.
Truly.
So, I started at an independent insurance agency over in Taylorsville, and I learned the ropes of commercial insurance and kind of got my feet on the ground. And about after a year and a half, she said, all right, you've been doing it. How do you like it? I said, I love it, actually. I really do enjoy this business.
Good.
And she said, all right, come on over. So she hired me to come on and take over her commercial department with American Family Insurance.
Nice.
And ran that for about 6 years with her. We went through COVID, and we went from 5 of us in the office down to me and my mom running a business. And it was trying. They say working with family can be fun until it isn't.
Yeah.
But
I can imagine.
It brought us really close together because we had to figure out how to keep a business alive during COVID. And we showed up to the office every day, and we grinded every day and made it through it. And our business actually grew from it. And as we continue growing, American Families changes and policies and stuff with the commercial world and insurance was getting a little bit harder because I love doing insurance for contractors. Blue collar work, because it brings me back to being in the military. I get to get out on job sites with people and see what they're doing on a daily basis. I get to have those interactions again that kind of reminds me of my roots a little bit. So I made the decision about 6 months ago to change back to the independent insurance world and go back to commercial insurance. And so I got a job offer from Grit Insurance with Kirk over there in Justin. They're great guys. I've been networking with them for about 2 years, and as soon as they found out that I was looking to leave American Family, he said, you have to come aboard. Come with us and come let us show you kind of what we're doing. I sat down with them for one interview, and probably within 15 minutes, we stopped talking about business and started talking about everything else in the world. And
That's
I thought,
awesome.
this is kind of where
a good fit. Yeah. Really
when you feel that alignment, you kind of know that energy's there and all that kind of stuff's in the same room. Like that's a great feel. What is GRIT? There's an acronym. What is that? What is GRIT?
So not so much as an acronym to it, but kind of like I mentioned earlier, insurance is a grind. It is something that it takes a lot of work, and it's not really, when you think of jobs, it is not something that you go to career day and the kids are like, you know what I want to do? I wanted to do insurance. This is my path in life, So it really is something that it takes a lot of work, a lot of grit to get through it and to do it. And so our philosophy at Grit is to really grind for our clients. We don't look at ourselves as insurance agents per se. We're advisors. We're team members, and we put a lot of integrity into our work. We may not be the people that are going to just price shop what you have currently and just give you, here's a price tag. We deep dive into businesses, and we look exactly as where are you at now, and where have you been, and what's your next 5 years look like? What does your business want to do, and where do you want to be? And we find what people's passions are and the way they want to grow their business, and then we tailor that to them specifically. So we really try to put that grit into other people's businesses. So that's kind of what Grit is, and that's what Kurt kind of started it with, and him and Justin have ran an amazing company out there doing it. they're somebody that I get to learn from every day. I get to bring a little bit of my own personality to it as well and kind of help them along the way. And so it's a lot of fun. We push each other a whole lot, and we have another office, not just here in Salt Lake area, but we have one in Chalice, Idaho. Don't ask me where it's at per se, because if you blink, you
I'll
might
have to
miss
Google
it.
that.
Yeah, they're still the ones that have their high school graduations on the football field.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
okay,
people in
yeah,
the stands,
yeah.
about 100 kids total.
Yeah.
Wow.
Four-way stop. They got a four-way
Yeah.
stop, and that's it. And that's cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like where you grew up.
It is, exactly.
Yeah.
But not in Idaho.
No.
Yeah. A little
No, with the
further
potato
east.
farms. No.
But it's great. We love it. Our Chalice office runs a lot of our personal insurance lines, and then Salt Lake here we run a lot of the commercial side of things. And it's a
So
lot
you
of
dove in a little bit to who your ideal client is, but
Yeah.
you know, the listeners out there, they're like, I don't know if this is for me, Easton. Like, if you're talking to your ideal client, like, who is that needs to talk to you and why?
For us, I mean, we will talk with anybody that owns a business, of course. First
Yeah.
and foremost is
So business
if you're-
owners.
Yeah, if you are looking to start your own business or grow it, it is a great opportunity to be able to sit down with an insurance agent, because it's not something that people think of right off the bat. It's kind of a reactionary thing. People start a business and they say, okay, I have
Oh, I probably
X,
need
Y, and Z set
Yeah.
up. I'm ready to go. Oh yeah, I need insurance.
Yeah.
And they don't know necessarily too much of what that involves.
Yeah.
But contractors tend to kind of be our bread and butter, those blue collar workers, because you have contractors. Excavation companies is a really big one that we work with.
Okay.
And if you're out running a piece of excavation equipment, your cost of hire is $100 plus an hour that person is working. If you take that job owner away from that to have to work through their insurance processes and find out what they need, that's $100+ an hour that they're losing out on the job site every single day. So for us, we love to be able to sit down and create a plan for our clients to where once a year we can have a conversation with them and on their time when they need and what works for them, and they don't have to worry about it.
Any certain number of employees that we should look at or think about for you? Like as company business owners, as we
So
talked
number of
about?
employees, I mean, from the day that you hire one employee, if it's a W-2 employee,
Yep.
or even if they are a contractor employee, but they only work for you, the state of Utah, I mean, in every other state now, but we're here.
Got to
in
be
Utah,
careful
so,
with that. Yeah.
you have to have workers' compensation insurance on them.
Yeah.
You have to protect those employees to where if something happens on the job site that they can be able to collect that money and, get paid for their medical bills, or a big one is that their lost wages when they're out of work. Workers' comp will help cover that person's lost wages, so you don't have to continue paying your employee for time off or for them to go on disability or anything like that. Workers' comp will help cover that for them. So
I'm sure you've just seen like such impactful stories doing what you do, like personal stories. I know you probably can't dive into details because those are often confidential, but the things that you're talking about, could really be heartbreaking on the flip side of that if you're not insured.
One story, I mean, I can share a little bit is my own personal, is my grandfather. He was an iron worker for many, many years. Like the smokestack out there in Twilla.
Yeah.
He helped build that.
Wow.
Long time ago. And back in the day,
What are we doing with our lives exactly?
I mean, I'm gonna get out of bed today.
but they did not have regulations back then.
Yeah.
There was no such thing as, tying off and securing with harnesses.
Yeah,
back
yeah.
then. You see the old pictures of people sitting
OSHA,
on.
right? Like all of
Yeah.
the things that we now have.
You
Yeah.
see the old pictures of metal workers sitting on being having lunch,
Empire
100
State
feet,
Building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really the way that it was. And he did tragically, he had an accident. He fell from a building that he was working on and actually fell onto the rebar below him that actually impaled through him. And he still battles it today. It's still something that he has to deal with. He had surgeries, spent a long time in the hospital. And thankfully for workers' comp, it was something that was able to provide him for that time off, his medical bills. And it's something that reoccurringly can continue to pay out for him long term until he was able to return back to work. So
That's wild.
So important.
I've had to ask a dumb question because I love asking dumb questions. But
No such thing, Blaine.
No, but one
Until
time,
now.
I think it'll be a good. I think it'll be a good one,
Yeah.
and it's for people out there still thinking, "Oh, I don't know who that is." What's a blue collar worker?
Blue collar workers, yeah. I mean, that's a good question.
Good
because,
question.
You know, that is something that I guess maybe not too many people know.
Yeah.
Maybe like next generation may not.
They may not. They may not. And that could be business owners. Like there's
Yeah.
business owners who are coming up who are younger than us.
Yeah.
They may not know what a blue collar worker
Yeah.
is. There's older ones too. I don't want to get out there
That's
and get
true.
people saying, wait a minute, he's
True.
picking on the
Yeah.
ages. No.
Yeah.
What is a blue collar worker?
A blue collar worker is somebody you can tell right off the bat by looking at their hands. If you look at their hands,
a
if there are
Yeah.
stains somewhere on their hands or their clothes in some way, shape, or form, most likely they work in.
Gotcha.
It's often your trades and the ones
Yeah.
that are out there working with their hands.
Painters,
I love
plumbers,
that.
that kind of- like that
Yeah,
kind of- like-
absolutely.
Anything from your home builders and contractors to your HVAC,
Oh, okay, yeah.
heating, home
Yeah.
ventilation people to electricians. So anybody that is out doing manual labor for a living, that's blue collar work. Not
Gotcha.
working in an office on a day-to-day basis.
No, I love it.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Let's
It
put
was
a definition
it
on
really
it.
was a
Yeah.
great question. It really was. All right, we're going to jump to some of the fun stuff.
Let's get to it.
Okay.
Find out a little bit more about you because we want to dive into the details. So,
All right.
tell us maybe a fun fact about you or something that not a lot of people know that's unique to you.
Okay. All right, let's think here. So something unique to me is when I was a kid. You may not be able to tell it now. I mean,
Okay.
but I was such a nerd when I was a kid, and I say that
Who
as a
wasn't?
good thing now.
Hey,
I love that fact about me now, but I look back at like teenage me and I'm like, oh boy.
I'm pro nerd all the way.
But
I know it's true. Sometimes I find out things about you that I'm like,
You're
oh,
like, wait a minute.
you really are.
I am.
No, I'm,
I'll fight the first person.
he's a proud nerd, and you should
Yeah.
be a proud
yes,
nerd.
I
Right?
look at it now and I love that fact about me. But when I was a kid, I wanted to do everything and anything that I could possibly do. So little known fact about me is I love music.
Yeah.
You and I kind of
Oh,
talked about it a
yeah.
little bit before we started
Yeah.
here. But when I was in second grade, I played the violin. And I
Okay.
played all the way through high school and kind of branched out to multiple instruments from there. In high school, I did ballroom dancing.
What?
Nice.
Yeah, I told you I was really, really popular in high school. Carrying around a violin
awesome.
case and
And ballroom
ballroom
dance.
dancing.
And doing ballroom dance. Acting. Get in here and do a couple steps of ballroom dancing with
my
me.
child.
Yeah.
Get in here.
It
Let's
was
see
a lot
this.
of fun, but I wanted to try everything. And I played sports as a kid growing up. Baseball, basketball, football was my life. That's why my name is Easton. And I thought as a kid
Gotcha.
that all sports equipment that my parents got me, they had personalized for me.
Yeah. Because it was
And
Easton
so-
Bags. Oh,
Easton.
you know.
And not just like as a little kid, like kids had
Forever.
to tell me finally that that wasn't just mine.
Like, hey.
Yeah, maybe a little bit longer than I'm proud
pretty
of to
funny.
admit.
Yeah, but hey.
Actually, really.
I would go to baseball tournaments with all of my Easton stuff, and I'm like, I am decked out with all personalized equipment here. And then I'd see somebody else with it, and I'm like,
That's what I was going to ask.
Why you
You're
got
like,
my
wait a
stuff?
minute.
what? His name must be Easton too.
I would have thought, man, he must be a fan of mine.
That's really funny.
So I played sports all growing up. My brother's name is Peyton after football player Walter Payton
Yeah.
for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my
Oh, yeah.
family has bred us for sports.
Yep.
I got to high school and I stopped playing baseball.
Huh.
I just couldn't do it anymore. I played as a kid traveling all around, Utah to California, Colorado to
So fun.
Arizona, and I loved it. When I got to high school, I thought, what's a very popular sport that will make me even more popular? So I went to golf.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Absolutely.
So
Hey, there's some scholarships there. So-
there are.
I mean, in all sports, but
I took golf in
sure.
college. I got
Yeah.
credits.
I loved it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I joined the high school golf team as a freshman and played through high school, and I loved it. So I kind of wanted to be somebody that tried anything and everything that I could get my hands on. So,
So you're feeling right at home right here with these.
Yes.
with the
I
golf.
saw these as I walked in, and that's something now that I'm older. I'm like, oh my gosh, I started this as a kid,
Yeah.
and now it's part of my job. I love it because
Look-
I love to take clientele. I love to go golfing.
that's so fun.
Because you kind of can take the pressure away of a business meeting by going out and just relaxing, having fun.
I just had a thought. I think for BNI, because we're all members of Daybreak Business Community, BNI.
Yes.
We'll talk a little more details into that and how that's maybe evolved and helped you in your career. But I think we might need to do an event at Topgolf.
I
Yeah.
think that would be a
Wouldn't
great
that be a
idea.
blast?
Yes.
I think that'd be a blast.
I think we should.
Okay, so on that topic, let's jump into BNI. So tell us a little bit about BNI for those who don't know what it is. We are all members of the Daybreak Business Community, as we mentioned. What is BNI for you, and what has it done for your business?
Yeah, so BNI is something it's for business networking, and the great thing that I love about it is it brings community of people together that are involved in businesses or own their own businesses. To build a network and find referral partners back and forth. And the great thing that I love about it is we meet every week, and there is only one person per industry that you can bring into it. So I have a friend of mine who owns a handyman business, and it's called Got a Guy.
Oh, I love it.
So he's got a guy for everything. And so I think of BNI in that same sort of sense, a guy or girl, in that sense that if somebody, one of my clients, a family, a friend, somebody needs something, I got somebody.
Yeah, it's so true.
And so it really does bring together not just business opportunities, but a community of people to be able to grow their businesses together, to challenge each other, to hold each other accountable.
There you go.
To have accountability partners for me, I think is a great one. Yeah. We're able to find out, what it is that you need in your business, and then if somebody gives you a referral, hold yourself accountable to it, and also have other partners within your business and your network to hold you accountable and follow through. So for me, that has been the big thing for BNI. And so we meet every single week, and we continue to grow our businesses together. And I love that. I got involved in BNI in 2017 when I first started in insurance, and I love it. I've never stepped away from it. I grew to be able to have the opportunity to work with BNI. I worked with Camden Thorne, our owner here for the Northern Utah area, and I started helping launch chapters. During COVID, we saw an influx in members in BNI because people were stuck at home. People were starving for business and needing that, and BNI brought a culture to be able to bring people together to continue growing those. So I'd help people start from a core group like we did, where we just start our meetings. We're not officially big enough of a meeting to be a chapter, and I would help run their meetings every single week until they got to that 17, 18 mark and be able to launch them on their way. So
that's awesome.
It showed me a little bit different side of BNI, of the growth opportunities.
I was going to say, you're not afraid of growth at all. You're like, let's take this on.
And that's that meeting in specific, the one we're talking about, is every Wednesday, 9 a.m. at the DCC. If you're not familiar with the DCC, Daybreak Community Center. Upstairs. I think we're about to take over both rooms.
We are. We have grown so much in our last 3 months since we initially started meeting that I think we're going to need the larger room. 2 rooms,
can't wait
actually.
for that.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me to see the amount of growth that we've really had. And it's not just growth of putting people in a seat. It's the value of people that we have there. As long as I've been a BNI member, every chapter has its own culture to it because it has its own people within it. You got to bring your own personality to it. This chapter has lit a fire, I think, under me that has been something that maybe in the past, a little bit has been kind of dormant. It's something that is like re-sparking again, passion to continue growing, not just my business, but really anybody that's there. I love it. When I started going to your guys' meetings in the end of November, I think it was right before Thanksgiving. I think we were like 10, 11 people on a weekly basis, and I think last week we had almost 30 people there.
We did,
and all of those are putting in applications and coming on a weekly basis, and they're seeing the value from the moment they step through the door.
I made her sign or fill out the application in front of me. We'll get to her.
We've been after her for a minute.
I love who I'm talking about.
That's awesome, because I do the same thing.
I did.
I will be out driving on the road, and as your insurance person, don't do what I do. Don't listen to me, okay? But I really will. I will take pictures of trucks and vehicles going by because I'll do it for my own business. If I see people's contracting trucks on the side, I'll take a picture. So if you've gotten phone calls from me, this is
there
me.
You go.
But I started doing it for BNI. And we were talking with Mark last week about it, and he said, getting people to the meeting, how do I do that, and how do I invite people? And I said, just have a conversation with anybody and everybody that you see.
There you go. You know what? We're going to add this part to this segment, and that's your BNI tip.
Yeah.
Like literally, that's a BNI tip right there. A huge tip. Literally, just have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like
so I'll take pictures of people's vehicles as I drive by them, and I'll call them while I'm, stopped at a red light, not moving with my seat.
And when you say take pictures of people's vehicles, you're talking about business like wraps.
Yeah.
He's not talking about just.
No, not your own personal vehicle.
Yeah. There you go, Justin.
Yeah, I gotta specify on that one. I'm not a full pickup line.
Well, hold on now. Yeah,
license plate.
I wanted to make sure we cleared that up because that could
in your role, that could be the case.
yeah, that's for sure. I gotta hit one more thing though. I gotta dig a little deeper.
Okay.
The music thing.
Oh, yeah.
I know you got some more success in the music. Where are you going with the music? Where have you been recently with the music?
Yeah, so music has always kind of been my passion. What really sparked it for me was when I was in high school playing in the orchestra and stuff. We went every year, we'd go on what's called a tour. So we'd pick a new place, whether it was out of state or in state. We would go for a week and we would do either lessons or we'd go like a competition or things like that. And my junior year of high school, our teacher, our orchestra leader, she had the amazing idea to go to Manhattan and to go to New York.
Oh,
and
how awesome
it was
that?
All of us did not want to get our hopes up because what parent at 16, 17 years old is like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send 40 kids to New York with limited amounts of supervision and we'll see you in a week. But it was great. We went there. We took a red-eye flight from Salt Lake straight to New York and woke up that morning and we went to Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, yes.
And all of us are trying as hard as we can to keep our eyes open, but we're also mesmerized by what's going on. So I got the opportunity to do that. And that was amazing. And then the very next day, we got to go to Juilliard. And we got to have a private lesson with somebody that had been there since he was 13 years old.
Wow.
And he was a cello player. And it was a life-changing thing to see somebody that has devoted their entire life to music and to see the abilities of what people can do. So we did that, and we went to a couple other shows. We went to Mary Poppins while we were out there, and we went to Wicked.
Oh, yeah.
It was
So
amazing. So when we got back, I really said music is kind of something that I love.
Yeah.
It was my passion. So when I got back here from the military, I picked back up again and started playing guitar a little bit.
Oh,
and then
okay.
Started playing and singing every once in a while, and then I had a buddy that was doing live music on Friday nights down at Guadalajara's down in Draper.
Yeah.
They have a bar section next to it called Donkey Tales.
Yes.
Oh, this sounds like my kind of place.
Yeah, Ben. We gotta get you there.
It is
sounds
so
like
much
it's
fun.
so fun.
So when I got back, he was like, "Come out, try playing in front of people." And so I was a nervous wreck.
Wow.
I had to,
so this was new for you.
Yeah.
Going from watching yourself in the mirror in the bedroom, playing a guitar or singing, whatever, is a lot different than going
In front of an live audience.
So go from that. Yeah.
So I started doing that, and he said, "Come on back." Every Friday, he said, "Come on back." So when I take breaks, he said, "You can just jump in and play and sing for everybody." And then that evolved into me getting local gigs around the valley. And then I actually got the opportunity when I lived in Daybreak here a few years ago to play at the Daybreak Music around here. I got to open up for Chance McKinney out there, a country singer that came out and did that. So it was so much fun to do that, that I continued kind of pursuing it. And then I got the opportunity just on a wild hair that they were having auditions for The Voice down in Vegas.
There you go.
And I was like, it'd just be fun to just go be around like-minded people like that and just see what happens. I mean, there are thousands of people that show up to these things and wait in line for hours and hours and hours. And then they bring you into a room and you're with about 8 or 10 other people, and they say, "You got 30 seconds, no music, no nothing, sing me a song." And so you do it, and then they go down the line and it's yes, no, no, yes, yes, you stay in here. And so when I went in there, I got a yes from the first one, and then you come back the next day, but you can have music. So you either have a backtrack or you play your instrument or something, and you sing again. And so I went and did that, and they said, "Okay, we'll let you know." And I thought that was kind of the end of the line. I said, that was fun. I got an opportunity to go do this. I got to spend a weekend in Vegas and hang out with new people and musicians. And so I came home, and a month went by, and I didn't hear anything. And I just thought that was kind of the end of it. And then I got an email about a month and a half later saying, "Hey, we want you to come out to LA and continue the audition process."
What?
So I flew out to LA and went and did an audition out there again, and they have you pick 2 songs, do the audition again, and then they do the same thing. So I came back home again. Kind of didn't really hear anything again. A couple weeks later, I get an email again. Okay, we're going to fly you back out to LA again.
Gosh.
And do some interviews
Like
and everything
yo-yo
else.
of emotion, man.
Because I really kept thinking every step of the way, I was like, okay, that was fun. This is it. It's really not going to turn into anything, but it's an experience. Yeah. So I came back home and went back to LA again, and they do interviews. They sit you down and kind of coach you how to answer interview questions and have a conversation, because they put a microphone in front of you for singing, and that's one thing. I can do that. But then they start asking you questions, and like, I freeze. I don't know what to say.
This is scary.
I don't want to talk about me the whole time. So they give you some coaching and some opportunity to learn how to give interviews. So I did that, and spent about a week out in LA doing interviews, doing music, auditions, and things like that. And they cut it down to about 75 people at that point in time. So they've gone from nationwide auditions down to 75 people. And then you have one last day of auditions where they actually take you and you can do auditions on stage and things like that. And they get ready for filming, and they get ready for the chair turn auditions, and then they cut it down to about 40 people. And that's what makes the live recordings for the show, where they actually see the judges come in and all that. And so when they did the final cut downs to 40, that's where my opportunity ended there for it. And it was a great experience, though, because for something just starting that, I was like, 1 week, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try it.
Yeah.
Like, why
not? You went that far? You went
and then I ended up going that far. So.
At least top 75, you could say, I guess, right?
Yeah, for that year.
You going to do this again?
Yeah, so I'm going to try again this next week here, actually.
All right.
So we're just going to see how it happens. And again, I'm kind of going in with the same thing.
Okay, we're going to be watching on how we can support Easton, right?
Yes,
What we're going to do, you'll have to get us the info.
It's just an experience, of putting yourself out there, because I think so much of us now, we get stuck behind our keyboards or internet and TV and whatnot, that sometimes we get a little shy to step out of that comfort zone.
You know what I really love about this, and it's kind of where this interview started, is what you're showing your daughter. With what she's pursuing, and just the example that you're showing her, and get after it and go pursue your dreams, and you're successful in what you're doing with your career, but you're like, that doesn't mean I'm done. Right? So
doesn't define you. That's it.
Moment with your daughter.
Yeah, and I do love that. I mean, I'm a single dad to my 8-year-old daughter, and I love it. Since I was a kid, being a dad has been something that I've always kind of wanted to be and wanted to do. And even with me, I am divorced now for about 2.5 years, but me and my ex-wife we're honestly probably best friends.
Yeah.
She's one of my closest people that we've been able to show that since things didn't work out with us, though, we're still a family in some sort of way.
Yeah.
Because we're setting that example for her. And I have her a majority of the time, just with work schedule stuff, it works out really good. So that's kind of a big drive for me, is that trying to kind of show my daughter that, even doing things on your own, that you can step outside and you can chase your dreams and chase your ambitions. Work is one thing that it's going to come. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to make a living some way. But find your passions. And
then
really
it's not work.
Yeah.
And then it's not work.
That's so awesome.
Right?
Well, I love that example that you're setting, and I wanted to throw that in there because I do know your daughter, and that unique situation. My ex-husband and I, we've talked about this, are very similar, right? Mm-hmm. Very similar situation with the way that we've raised our kids, and I think it shows a lot. I know not everybody. I'm going to get some flack here because not everybody can, have those kinds of relationships. Well, when you can, it really is nice.
It does. It works. I think it does.
I'm very fortunate to have a partner in this of parenthood, because in one way, shape, or form, we're still partners.
Completely.
We're still being together in a way to raise somebody and mold a mind into being something. And like Christmas, this last Christmas here, her mom came over for Christmas, and we still do family breakfast for Christmas morning. She's got her relationship now, and he's great. That's kind of the only thing that we ask, is that find somebody that loves our daughter and takes care of her. And it was really good experience to go through. Me and my ex-wife came up with, when we first started getting back into the dating world, or if we started that again, that we had the respect of, we'll introduce our partner to the other parent before bringing our daughter into the picture for it. So I met her boyfriend pretty early on, and he's great. Honestly,
so
he's
nice.
That works.
That's
great. They're
so
happy.
Great.
And so we come over for Christmas breakfast, we hang out, we have a good time, and then we kind of go our own ways, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But not all people are fortunate in that way. So
It's
I know I'm very
We
lucky
are
and
very
very
lucky,
fortunate
Easton,
in
that
that
we've
way
got
to
that,
have that
yes.
opportunity.
Yes.
Man, we can't wait to see the insurance stuff. I can't wait to see the voice. I really can't wait to see where your business goes, because I do see nothing but big things here with the DBC.
Yes.
I really can't wait to see what happens with the voice.
Oh, thank you.
You're gonna still have the business if you go on the voice, right? Like you
Yes. Insurance is still a passion one. I still love to do it.
So it's not work once
No.
again.
He loves his numbers and he loves helping people.
If you end up on the voice and going famous and all that, maybe your daughter at 8, 9 years old takes over the business.
There you go.
She could probably handle it, right?
You know what? I actually just thought about this for B&I. I'm going to be out of town. I'm headed off to Hawaii for some warmer weather. I'm going to need a sub.
There you go.
I'm wondering if Easton could just like stand up and sub for me in the sense that he has to sing everything.
Oh, no.
I feel like
No.
We could put him on the
that
phone
would
right
be
here.
a lot of fun.
I will tell you, I will
You
sing
got
in
some
front of
talent.
a big, large group of people. I'd rather sing in front of 1,000 people than like 4 people.
Oh yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
people I know.
Really?
Oh, it's because you know them.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I go
No, it
and
makes
play
sense.
in front of 1,000. They don't know me.
Yeah.
I may never see them again. It's kind of a big crowd of people.
So
Yeah.
when we show up to Guadalajara, like you're gonna
Oh, I'm heading in
At that
now.
point in time, I'm okay.
you said every Friday night, right? Because we're gonna be there.
The sun's going down now. It's about time to head over now. Like,
We got a show tonight.
Yeah,
we'll head over there.
it's a lot of fun, but I still do. I get nervous in front of my family every year for our Christmas party that we do a little talent show. 'Cause
Yeah.
My grandparents, we were talking earlier, my grandma had 6 kids, and then she has about 22 grandkids.
Okay.
And there's only about 3 of us now that aren't married out of that. And then she has about 26 great grandkids.
Wow.
So when we get together for family holidays like that,
It's a big party.
we have a lot of people there
Yeah.
for it. And I'm still in front of them. I'm like, I don't want to do it.
yeah.
Hey,
Don't
oh
make
my
me do
gosh,
that.
yeah.
I still get
That is
nervous
so
about
funny.
it every time.
I guess he just needs more practice. That's what I heard.
Yes. I could probably use her a lot.
So B&I, we heard it here. He'll be performing
Every week.
Every
He's gonna
week
close
now.
the meeting every week at B&I, which is 9 a.m. on Wednesdays.
Wednesdays 9 a.m. at the DCC Daybreak Community Center.
And,
Come and join us.
I mean,
It's
really,
so
this
much
is your
fun.
invite. This
Yes.
is your invite, right? Like
True.
this, we are inviting whoever's watching right now. Come out there. We are I'm bragging on us, but we're a great group. Like that's it.
It really is,
I think
though.
it's okay to brag on it.
I'll tell you what.
We're a lot of fun.
I know it's a great group when I'm not doing this while I'm sitting there and the time hits and it's over and I'm like,
Yeah.
I wish we'd have had a little more time. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I feel like, because it doesn't feel like work. Once again, we're not working when we're there.
No.
We're doing what we're already passionate about. So, better ourselves.
And we're not biased by any means. You know how every
course not.
parent says, like, my kid is talented,
Yeah,
they're
no.
beautiful, they're great. We have a little bit of bias for our children because B&I really is a family thing.
Yeah.
We are a family of people together.
Yeah.
But really, though, we are those beautiful ones that
We're
really, when we
so
brag
much
about
fun.
it, we kind of are.
It's hard not
the
to be.
community of people is so much fun. And a big thing to add to that is to let people know is you don't have to live in Daybreak to come to
True.
us.
Thank you.
Yes. We get that question.
We do. I mean, this is the president, and I'm membership committee, so it's up to us who are
Visitor host over
visiting.
there.
Like we're not just letting anybody and everybody in, and you don't have to live in Daybreak.
Yeah.
Because people who live outside of Daybreak still service Daybreak.
Look, here's the thing.
So thank you for this.
Yeah, I really love that you said that. And here's the thing about this. I mean, we can go on all night.
Oh,
about
yeah.
How much
We're
fun
gonna
this
wrap
is.
here. Yeah.
But there is a lot of talent in Utah, right? And yes, of course, I'm going to be biased towards our state too, because I'm Utah, born and raised, right? But there's a lot of talent and a lot of entrepreneurial spirit here. A lot of tech, a lot of marketing,
Yeah.
like just very highly educated people. And they're, again, just the pool of people that we have that are coming into this group
Oh, it's incredible.
are just incredible.
Yeah.
So I will say that you guys need to come and visit us Wednesday, BNI, Daybreak Business Community, BNI at the DCC Wednesday at
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
See you there.
We'll see you there. Easton, it's always so great to see you, and thank you again for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. This is great. I love this. I've never done a podcast or sat in front of things like this.
There you go.
This is another thing that I can add to trying and venturing out to new things.
We'll have to get him his own soon. He'll have to have his own podcast.
We're just at the first of the year, and you're like already crossing off like
boom,
brand new things. This is huge.
Absolutely. I'm one of those people. I vision board, so
yeah.
I'm
there you
that.
go. Podcast check.
There you go.
Done.
We're done.
You got wrestling on there?
All right.